This is the Core Grafx II with the Super CD-ROM². And this one was sent to me by someone that wants just a recap. I believe the unit's working pretty good. Very bad sound. I can see there's a little bit of scunge on the board here. A little bit of corrosion down in there. Well, there's the recap done. Done. Might just give this a bit of a wipe down, but otherwise we have a perfectly recapped and working PC Engine Core Grafx II. Now let's move on to the Super CD². Okay, here we go. Let's tear it down. So I'm gonna have to be pretty careful at the moment when I open it because these units sometimes, I mean, it's got an LED at the front here, so I need to make sure there's a ribbon, but it looks like they've given it enough space to maneuver, which is good. Lid off to the side, and then we can look at what we've got. So there's the laser module. It's a little bit dirty in here, and I can already see some scunge all over the board, so we definitely have some lead capacitors. So let's get that out first of all. A tiny little one. Looks like it's all it is holding. Let's take the board out of the case. There we go. And let's take a look at the bottom here. And yes, we've got some clips that are holding the optical module in. So I want to get those out first of all. So looks like the peg is just held in place. So if I push that out, so like so, the base here should pop off. It's a bit tricky to get to. There we go. And then our module should just lift up. We just need to remove these ribbons. Okay, and there's one on that side. Alright, we'll take our optical module out of the way. Get a good look on the inside here. Okay. So we've got shield. There's a big shield on the bottom, as we saw just a second ago, and it looks like they are soldered on both sides. So we're going to have to take this shield off first in order to get to this shield, and then we can see our prize within. Yeah, let's start going around and removing that. Just going to use some wick and work my way around. There we go. Okay, one shield removed. Now we can get the other shield removed. Okay, and now we can see our prize. Okay, so let's just go around and clean up that flux a touch. On the board in general, there are a number of little spots around the place where there's excess, just crusties, like whatever this is here, just around here. I don't see any overt corrosion or leakage from capacitors though, so that's a good sign. So what I'm looking for in particular is, like I said, you know, patches of dirt and smudgy stuff like that doesn't come off particularly easily. I'm also looking for like dull patches of solder, because when the electrolyte leaks out and, you know, etches away at the solder, the pads, instead of being this nice shiny reflective beautiful stuff that you see here, the solder, you know, goes dull. That indicates that the electrolyte has leaked out and has corroded the surface and it's turned the alloy into something less favorable to solder with. I've been asked to recap it anyway, so I'll be going forth with that regardless, because the owner just wants that done as preventative maintenance, which I can understand why. I can see a lot of junk around here though. Not sure if that's coming through, but there's just crap ahoy actually, and I can see now some leakage underneath there, so one or more of these capacitors looks like they've leaked. Yeah, it's gross right down here. Might also just be because that is the cartridge port right at the front, not the cartridge, the expansion port that plugs in here. Maybe some liquid or something got in this way. Who knows? Looks like we've also got another 7805 there, so I might replace that too while I'm here. Yeah, it's kind of scungy around this entire area. Case in point, what I might do, just because this board has a lot of, it's fairly big, it's got a lot of dirty spots, what I might do is just take all the capacitors off in one fell swoop, then give the full board a full clean, and then come back and yeah, put them all back in place that way, instead of, you know, doing like I normally do, which is do one type at a time. Yeah, I might try it that way. Let's remove this little daughter board here as well. So it looks like it's just got a couple of plugs that hold in, so it should just pop straight up. Give it a quick wiggle. There we go. Oh wow, good thing I did, because there's geez, a pile of caps under here as well. Alright, let's tally up what we're looking at. Oh, what is that guy? I didn't notice that one before. So that is our 0.47 farad. What's that? 7 microfarad. 5.5. Oh, that looks like a super cap. How interesting. I don't know if I've got something to replace that. Don't remember seeing that on the cap list either. Maybe I overlooked it. Oh, okay, I've been to the internet and I've gotten some cap maps and a list of capacitors, all courtesy of Console 5. Great resource for this kind of thing. Yeah, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through my list here and my lists here and just note down on the map itself what value they are. Probably just verify that and double check that on the thingy. And then we'll see how we go. I can already see 509 that what looked like a super cap to me isn't listed in their cap list. So yeah, that's going to be interesting. Okay, this will take a little bit. Okay, so that's that, and then this guy is a, yeah, 5.5 volt, and that is a 47 5.5. It's very interesting. Well, it turns out I am a little bit short, so I'm going to have to go shopping. While I am waiting, I might as well start taking some of these caps off. I've got the list. I had to order few more than I anticipated. Actually, I was going to replace a lot of these surface mounts with through holes just bent over, but while I'm ordering, I might as well just stock up on some SMD caps. So I've got on order everything that I need. Should get here sometime next week. It is Friday at the moment, so yeah, get to work. Montage time. Yeah, it looks like we've got some leakage here. Now this is what I was talking about earlier when I said I'm looking for signs of leakage and corrosion and dull pads. Can you see the pads on the bottom there? They are completely dulled, which means there has been some corrosion and electrolyte leakage here. You can see it even worse from the other side there. Yeah, that's disgusting. And you can even see it's leached through the bottom side because this pad here is just completely corroded away and I can't get solder to stick to it at all. Alright, there we go. Yeah, that guy has completely leaked his guts out. So So what do we got here? This is a 100 microfarad 6.3 volt. So it'll be interesting to see any other 100 microfarad 6.3 volts that come out, because typically they're usually in batches, so it's like the one type. So we've got 100, but this is a 16 volt, and this shows no signs of leakage. This one though, so we're looking for other 6.3 volts. So that was that guy, 201. We've also got one down here, 311. And a couple over here, 512 and 515. So let's check those out really quickly before we go on. So this one right here, and yep, I can see leakage there as well. See, these ones are the same, but they're a different type of cap. So this is the tall and thin one, like that one. They're 100 microfarad, but 6.3 volt, but they're small, tubby ones. So these look fine, but we do also definitely have some corrosion there. So there you go. All right, well, that's where we're going next anyway. So let's get down there and take that guy out. And yes, it also shows that junk, and you can see just the gooiness on the very bottom there. That's what I'm talking about when I'm looking for leaks. And the pads from the top side are indeed showing a bunch of corrosion. Yeah, so we'll have to clean that area pretty well as well. All right, well, let's get the rest out. Keep going. Alright, that's all the through-hole components out. Let me just give the board a little bit of a wipe up. Good God, that is a lot of capacitors. Yeah, there was a lot of corrosion around here. That's unfortunate. It looks like as well that a few of the pads are gone. Yeah, no, the pad's completely gone on top here. That sucks. And there's some corrosion down the end here as well, which I'll need to clean up. Looks like these pads are also gone. Oh, and I just bent that trace up. That's unfortunate. Okay. There we go. So that trace is completely lifted out as well. These ones are corroded all the way down. So I might take these two out so we can get in there for a better look. We've got a C2275, I think that's a MOSFET, and then we've got a 7805, which is a voltage regulator. Alright, so this will need a little bit of cleaning, and by cleaning I mean patching. Yeah, that's annoying. Alrighty, so I just kind of went through hell trying to get these heat sinks out, because obviously they're heat sinks, but a little application of the desolder gun, my hot air, and you can actually see all these black lines. That is electrolyte that was stuck underneath that heatsink that someone in the past has wiped up, but didn't change the cap, so it just kept on leaking, and all that electrolyte just stayed on there. So that is why you need to take this stuff off when you're cleaning. Anyway, now that it's off, we can yeah, give it a proper clean, and yeah, take a look at the damage on the rest of these traces here. Well, after a good going over with the scope and a cleaning up of all the holes, there's no actual issues. All of the pads are here that need to be here. Some have come out, so like this one here is out, but the connections are on the other side, so there's no immediate problems. And where the pads are gone from that corrosion, we can just scrape back and get a little bit of copper when we're reinstalling. No biggie whatsoever. So I'm going to proceed with taking off all the SMD caps now. Typically, a lot of people recommend the snip method. I generally try not to, just because I don't like it all that much. You can generally just loosen the legs pretty easily. Gentle rock them back and forth, and then they just come up. So, you know, why unnecessarily stress the pads when you don't need to? See? Too easy. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I'm probably gonna switch to some tweezers because they get hot. So what I did there is I just melted through the base plastic on the actual capacitor so I could get to the pad. Okay, I think that is all of the capacitors off the board. Nice. All right, let's pop that to the side and get all of these guys off. So there we have the absolutely ridiculous number of electrolytic capacitors inside the Super CD². Yeah, it only looked like there were two obvious leakers amongst the set, which was the ones that I'm trying to find now. That guy, 100 microfarad 6.3 volt, and the other 100 microfarad 6.3 volt. There it is. So these two, they were obviously leaked. Let's double check and see what they're giving us in the old testaroni here. Yeah, 27 microfarad. Definitely not 100 anymore. And the other one, this one's coming up as 31 picofarads, so most definitely also dead. So let's test some of the other ones just at random. Let's grab one of the other hundreds. So this is a 16 volt. Yeah, 100, 7.4, that's good enough. Not too bad. Here's a 22, 16 volt. Yeah, 25, 18, that's getting a bit on the out of spec range. It's you generally want to stay within about 10%, so 2.2 plus, 22 plus 2.2, it's out of range. So I'd call that one dead as well, but not horrible. Let's try, there's a 2250. Yeah, that's perfect. In spec, ESR's a bit high, but that's okay. What about one of these other little hundreds? Yeah, perfect. 100, 1.4 ESR. So yeah, most of the caps here, I can't really test the SMD ones, but most of the caps here were fine. There's only those two obvious leakers, these 100 6.3s, and that's kind of what I keep saying when, people talk about recapping old computers and whatnot. It's like, well, you don't need to. Generally, they're fine. It's only when they're obviously failed that you need to start looking at that kind of thing, and that's where you run into that. Like I said, the owner of this just wanted the whole thing done, and I'm happy to oblige. I just gotta wait for my order. I'm gonna go clean up that board. There's still a lot of flux and junk all over it, so I'm gonna go give it a good proper bath. I'm also gonna need to replace this, well, not replace, but replace this C2275, and I will replace this 7805 with a brand new part and pop those back in. New bit of heat gunk there to secure it on, but I'll do that after I clean the board up. Alright, well, I'll be back in a few days.